Sometimes one secret buried deep inside the Brown family is all it takes to unravel decades of trust. And today, that secret is finally coming to the surface. And before we go deeper, what's the one moment in Sister Wives history you think changed everything? The morning sun slices through the blinds, casting long stripes across the polished floors of the Coyote Pass home. The air feels heavy, almost suffocating. Meri Brown walks quietly into the kitchen, her fingers tracing the edge of the countertop. It's been months since the tension between the wives felt this thick, months since the quiet whispers in the hallways turned into sharp accusations, and months since she began quietly shouldering the financial burden that seemed invisible to everyone else. "Okay, I've done more than my share, and they don't even see it," she says, almost whispering to herself, the weight of unspoken words on her chest. Her eyes rest on the pile of unopened bills neatly stacked on the counter: college fees, car payments, utilities, each envelope a reminder of the $2 million she claims she has poured into the family over the years. The thought tightens her throat, and for a moment, she allows herself a deep, shaky breath. Outside, Kody Brown paces in the driveway, his phone pressed to his ear as he tries to coordinate yet another meeting that promises more arguments than resolution. Christine passes him, her sharp eyes watching, her patience already beginning to thin. The tension in the air is almost tangible, a palpable pressure building ready to explode at any moment. All the dollars Meri spent in silence, all those sleepless nights, were about to become the fuel for a storm the family never saw coming. Inside, the first hints of the day's courtroom drama are already playing out. Janelle sits at her desk, laptop open, scrolling through a spreadsheet she created to track the family's finances. Her fingers tap rhythmically against the keys, a nervous rhythm, as she mutters under her breath about missing invoices and confusing reimbursement. She knows something is off, but she isn't sure how deep it goes. She looks over toward Meri, then quickly looks away, guilt, worry, and suspicion tangled together. Meanwhile, Robyn speaks with Kody in hushed tones near the living room, her voice firm and commanding. There's an edge in it, though, the kind of edge from knowing that at any time, power and control can shift. Their conversation is a careful dance of strategy, careful words cloaking the sharper intentions within. It's clear to anyone watching that alliances are forming and reforming like fragile glass, ready to shatter with the smallest touch. If this were on TV, the camera would pan across the house in a cinematic sweep, every tense glance, every pause that speaks louder than words ever could. Each room has its storyline to tell: the kitchen where Meri silently counts the expenses, the office where Janelle calculates, the living room where strategy meets secrecy. Suddenly, each room is a character unto itself, keeping secrets, nurturing doubts, wordlessly screaming those unspoken truths. The walls might keep quiet, but every glance and gesture is a secret message that's likely to explode in the courtroom. By mid-morning, the family is gathering for what seems like a simple discussion about the monthly expenses, but already the air is thick with anticipation. Kody's voice has authority, but it falters slightly as he notices Meri's silent intensity. She does not say much to begin with, she just lets her silence do the talking. Slowly, almost deliberately, she begins to detail her claims, the millions she says she has put in, the sacrifices nobody else seems to. Christine leans forward, her face incredulous. "You're telling me you've done all this by yourself?" Her tone is as incisive as it is unbelievable. The room lapses into a short silence as the weight of Meri's words lingers heavy in the air. Robyn's jaw clenches, she's computing how to play it, how to counter or discredit what's about to be said. The tension builds up like a storm before it hits land. Each wife processes the revelation differently. As Janelle's eyes nervously dart between the papers and Meri, Christine's posture stiffens, Robyn's calm exterior masks a brewing storm of her own. And Kody, he swallows hard, feeling the weight of a problem bigger than he anticipated. The claims are loud, undeniable, and demand a reckoning. What seems to be a quiet morning is actually the lull before the storm, both financially and emotionally. With the first session inching toward its climax, the family readies itself for the confrontation that will shortly spill into the courtroom. Meri stands with quiet determination, her gaze unwavering. She knows the fight ahead will not just be about money, it will be about recognition, respect, and finally, the acknowledgement of the sacrifices she has silently made for years. The camera lingers on her face, a mix of vulnerability and fierce resolve. The tension in the house is nearly unbearable. Even the walls seem to hold their breath. The family braces for what is next, in silent knowledge that nothing will be the same after today's revelation. And just as the first confrontation seems to settle into a tense calm, The doorbell rings. A messenger has arrived with documents that promise to ignite the first real battle in the courtroom. The air shifts instantly, charged with anxiety and anticipation. Okay, the documents in that envelope could unravel decades of trust, and nobody in that room knows just how deep the consequences will go. Okay, with that, the first session comes to a close, leaving the viewers at the edge of their seats, wondering what secrets the courtroom will expose, what betrayals will surface, and who will emerge victorious in the war over the family's hidden finances. The courtroom is silent, yet the tension is deafening. Sunlight streams through the tall windows and glints off the polished wood of the bench and the brass nameplate of the judge. Meri sits rigidly, with her hands clasped in her lap, her knuckles white. She knows this moment has been coming for years. Every unpaid bill, every unacknowledged sacrifice, now poised to be laid bare under the unforgiving glare of legal scrutiny. Kody enters, suit crisp, expression unreadable. He nods curtly at the judge and then turns toward his wives, the weight of expectation heavy in his posture. Robyn gazes steadfastly at him, calculating sharp, her lips pressed into a thin line. Christine and Janelle exchange quick, tense glances, each trying to gauge what the other knows and what the other might reveal. The air is thick with unspoken accusations. Every breath seems heavier than the last. Any whispered suspicion can explode into public proof, any hidden ledger can, and no one knows who will crack first. The judge clears his throat. It is time to begin. The room's energy shifts in that instant. The quiet hum of anxiety becomes palpable. Steep per trier curies sets. Sis schrijvers, matter mis, sin spreekt, 6-8 queer strees. Meri stands first, her voice steady but tinged with emotion as she recounts years of financial responsibility. She details tuition payments, mortgage contributions, car repairs, every dollar meticulously tracked on spreadsheets she has kept, often in secret. Her words come out with precision, but beneath the calm lies a seething anger, frustration of decades of invisibility and being overlooked while others took the fruits of her labor. Kody fidgets in his seat, looking in the direction of Robyn. He knows her backing is absolute, but he senses her impatience, to an unusually subtle hint that alliances within this family are fragile at best. Christine leans forward, narrowing her eyes. So, you're saying you did this all alone, Meri? Her voice cuts sharp, almost disbelieving, with an edge of hurt, as if the truth is some kind of threat against her perception of the family's unity. The courtroom isn't just a place of law, it's a battlefield where emotions cut deeper than any ruling ever could. Janelle rises next, hesitant, her hands shaking slightly as she presents evidence she has rounded up. Receipts, bank statements, invoices, and emails that paint a stark picture of Meri's claim. Each document is a dagger, exposing what some hoped would remain hidden. The murmurs in the audience ripple through the courtroom like an electric current as anticipation and shock interweave, layer upon layer, with the unraveling of this deception. Robyn stands, her voice reserved yet piercing, and reads her statement. She frames her words carefully to counter Meri's assertions, while offering soft defenses of her financial role in the family. The tension between the two is a live wire, a wire. The slightest wrong glance, the slightest misstep can cause a confrontation no one could contain. Kody says nothing, but he watches the growing tension as one secret after another starts to emerge. The gavel pounds in the judge's hand, but it barely quiets the undercurrent of emotions that permeates the air. Eyes flicker, hands twitch, and the silent tension of control teeters on the edge of collapse. All parties involved are very aware that the testimony is more than legal evidence. It's an emotional reckoning that could redefine relationships forever. Numbers are weapons in this courtroom, words are armor, and every utterance could tip the scales of trust irreversibly. As the session goes on, witnesses are called. Neighbors, friends, even accountants testify to anecdotes supporting Meri's claim. And slowly, piece by piece, Kody's defense is torn apart by questioning, forced to answer questions that prove he was lying and omitting. Christine grows increasingly irate, feels blindsided by the extent of what had been kept from her. Robyn sits poised, a calculated storm brewing in her brain, weighing every word, every gesture. As she deliberates where to challenge, where to defend, and where to manipulate, in walks a piece of evidence, a previously undisclosed financial report that could change everything. Gasps ripple through the courtroom, Meri's lips pressed tightly together, a small victorious smile playing at the corner. Kody's face tightens. Robyn raises an eyebrow, intrigue flickering in her eyes. Christine and Janelle exchange stunned looks, the realization dawning that the family's secrets are about to become public and that no one will walk away unchanged. And the coming moments may rewrite history for the Brown family. Alliances, betrayals, and unspoken resentments, all hanging by a thread. The session is adjourned as the judge declares a brief recess. Meri slowly exhales, feeling the intensity of her victory, yet feeling that the real storm had just begun. Whispers swirl outside the courtroom as reporters and family friends, even onlookers, speculate about what this evidence means. The family emerges in block, but the fragile veneer of unity has long been gone. Every stare, every moment of silence, every silent judgment threatens eventually to widen into chasm. And as the doors close behind them, the camera lingers on Mary's determined expression, a silent promise that she is far from finished, and the battles to come will test every bond, every loyalty, and every truth the family has tried to protect. The courtroom feels colder today, though the sun streams through the tall windows, casting harsh lines across the polished floors. Meri sits with her back straight, eyes scanning the faces of the other wives. She knows this session will be the turning point, the moment when hidden truths can no longer be ignored. Every heartbeat echoes in the silence, punctuated only by the shuffle of papers and the occasional cough from the audience. Kody squirms in his seat, tugging at his tie. He can feel the breaks in the family veneer widening, and with each glance from Robyn, he knows alliances are moving. Robyn leans just slightly forward, controlled but unyielding, as if to defy anyone to stand against her. Christine and Janelle sit tensely, each feeling the tension gnaw at the edges of their composure. Even the judge seems alert, recognizing the electricity in the room, knowing this session could tip the precarious balance completely. The next testimony will expose secrets no one expected, and it could shatter trust forever. First to testify is the family accountant, who has spent months going through the Brown finances. His voice is steady, but the words he says land like blows. He lays out spreadsheets, receipts, and bank statements that trace the path of Mary's contributions to the family over the last decade. The numbers are staggering: tuition payments, mortgage contributions, car repairs, utilities, and household bills, all quietly funded by Meri, with little acknowledgement from anyone else. Mary's eyes flicker between relief and vindication. Kody's jaw tightens. Robyn's face remains calm, but a small twitch betrays her unease. Christine leans forward, disbelieving, while Janelle bites her lip, trying to maintain composure as each piece of evidence cuts deeper. Every turned page, every accounted dollar, speaks volumes in silent accusation that no one can ignore. Things start to get heated when Meri is called to testify. Her voice comes out steady, detailing all the years of quiet sacrifice, but breaks at times, showing just how much weight she had carried. She describes late nights balancing bills, an endless stream of phone calls, and solitary financial decisions in which the rest of the family remained oblivious. The words are correct and factual, but in each phrase, the pain of betrayal and longing for recognition comes across. Kody shifts uncomfortably, his eyes darting sideways towards Robyn, who nods subtly, reminding him that alliances are not set in concrete. Christine leans back, taken aback at the sheer scale of Mary's contributions. Janelle's hands shake as she flips through documents, every single one proving Mary's claim. The judge briefly interrupts to remind everyone to keep their cool, but tension is in the air. The courtroom air feels heavy, almost choking, as if it knows the biggest revelation for today's session is yet to come. And Robyn stands next, her voice calm but icy, presenting her set of records. Her stated intention is clear. She wants to show her role in family finances, but the subtle insinuations in her testimony suggest she's also trying to undercut Mary's claim. The room is on edge with each word. Every sentence she says causes ripples in doubt and suspicion, making Kody, Christine, and Janelle reassess what they may have thought. With each passing revelation, alliances are made and broken, and the ties that bound the Browns together are starting to fray. Then comes the most shocking moment. A previously undisclosed ledger surfaces, and some of the information on it contradicts previous testimony. No! Gasps echo through the courtroom. Mary's eyes widen slightly. She wasn't expecting to find any hidden document. Kody's face pales as a fleeting look of panic crosses his face before his mask falls again. Robyn simply raises an eyebrow in interest and calculation. Christine and Janelle exchange startled looks at the possibility the hidden ledger might change everything. The courtroom holds its breath. Every eye is fixed on the papers, on the family's reactions, on the subtle shifts in expression. Each second stretches, heavy with anticipation, as if time itself has slowed to witness the impending fallout. The session is adjourned abruptly by the judge to take a recess. The Brown family walks out of the courtroom together, but the tension is unbearable. Whispers fill the halls as reporters speculate about the newly revealed ledger. Behind closed doors, each of them deals with what has just been exposed, some with relief, others with anger, some with a growing sense of fear. The ledger is only the beginning, as what it now unravels could destroy relationships, trust, and everything that the family has struggled to protect for years. As they head out, the camera would stay on Meri's determined face. The quiet strength has brought her this far, but she knows the most intense battles are yet to come. Alliances are going to shift, secrets are spilling, and nothing will ever remain the same. The storm will only just have begun. The doors to the courtroom swing wide, like some sort of prelude to chaos. The air is heavier than it has ever felt, with anticipation thick in every corner. Every step across the polished floor reverberates, amplifying months of built tension. Meri walks in first, her face calm, but her eyes hold a quiet fire. The kind of fire that comes from knowing you have been wronged, and now the world will see it. Kody follows suit, impeccable as always, but the tension in his shoulders betrays the control he usually projects. Robyn looks up at him, an unreadable calm masking the storm she will unleash. Christine and Janelle enter together, leaning subtly toward each other as both seek reassurance, calculating how the unfolding evidence will affect their position. The judge rises, his expression signaling the start of what is shaping up to be the most critical session yet. Every heartbeat in this room carries the weight of secrets that have long been buried, and one wrong move could set off an emotional explosion. First called is a witness close to the family's finances, whose testimony promises to expose the depth of Meri's contributions and the omissions of the others. As the witness speaks, the camera would capture close-ups of each family member's reaction. Meri's eyes gleam with restrained triumph. Kody's jaw tightens, a flash of panic crossing his face before he regains composure. Robyn's gaze is calculating, reading every expression, weighing each word, plotting her next move. Christine and Janelle exchange silent, incredulous glances. The magnitude of what is being revealed is staggering. Meri rises to give her testimony. Her voice is steady, yet laced with emotion. As she related the sacrifices and sleepless nights that she has endured, she speaks of mortgages paid alone, college tuition for children, car repairs, utilities paid, all quietly funded while the rest of the family remained oblivious. The weight of her words presses down upon everyone present in the silent courtroom, and each dollar Meri spent in silence became a weapon, a mirror reflecting betrayals no person could deny. Kody tries to defend himself, but the papers shown just make his defense fall flat. Robyn jumps in, her voice low and even as she tries to explain her position, but only increases the conflict. The veiled accusations laced through her testimony get the room abuzz with speculation. Christine's body straightens, her eyes flashing in anger. Janelle's hands shake slightly as she goes through the papers, the reality of the family's financial situation so much more convoluted and so much more destructive than she could have imagined. The judge calls a recess, and a wave of whispers sweeps through the courtroom, journalists, friends, and onlookers murmuring about the consequences. Cameras capture every moment outside, dramatizing it for the entire world to see. The Brown family comes out, but the unity that once was is now a frail veneer. Suspicion, betrayal, and concealed anger make the air thick between them. For secrets once hidden are now public, and every glance exchanged is a silent battle. The family's foundations are crumbling. The session resumes, and a new piece of evidence is brought forward. Emails and messages that expose hidden alliances, private gripes, and covert manipulation. Every bit of revelation has landed hard, like the strike of a hammer. Kody's face twists in, his grasp on control slipping away. Yeah! Robyn's eyes glint with challenge, a dare for anyone to question her authority. Christine gasps, her incredulity barely contained. Janelle covers her mouth, the shock rendering her momentarily speechless. The most explosive moment comes when a private ledger is read aloud, exposing transactions none of the wives fully knew. The room goes silent, even the judge leans forward, in awe of the drama unfolding. Meri's lips curl into the smallest of triumphant smiles. Kody's mask falters, showing the first cracks of panic. Robyn keeps her cool, which adds to the tension of just how precarious the balance of control within this family is. Every word spoken in this session brings the Browns closer to a breaking point where trust will shatter and alliances will be tested as never before. As the session draws to a close, the judge orders another brief recess, leaving the family and the audience in suspense. Outside the courtroom, the whispers grow louder, speculation mounts, and reality of the revelations begins to sink in. Behind closed doors, the Brown family faces an emotional aftermath anger, fear, determination building into a storm that may engulf them all. And just as they prepare to leave, the camera lingers on Meri, standing firm, her expression a mixture of vindication and anticipation. She knows the final confrontation is coming, that the ultimate resolution, and perhaps the most shocking revelation, is still ahead. Every member of the family feels it. Nothing will ever be the same after today. Then the courtroom is electric within. Every seat is filled, every whisper hushed as the Brown family prepares for the final showdown. Meri sits with quiet confidence, her hands folded in front of her, mind racing through the months of preparation, evidence, and emotional endurance. She knows this is her moment, the culmination of years of unacknowledged sacrifices. Kody enters with controlled composure, but the tension in his shoulders gives him away. Robyn follows, poised, calculating, scanning the room with the precision of a strategist. Christine and Janelle exchange quick glances, wordlessly acknowledging the weight of what is to come. The judge calls the court to order, and all eyes turn forward, thick with anticipation. Every second in this courtroom can rewrite decades of family bonds, trust, and hidden loyalty. Yet, it is Meri who rises to speak first. Her tone is firm and charged with emotion, and she enumerates the quiet additions she has made over the years: mortgages, utilities, tuitions, groceries, keeping a house and family. Every word spoken by her echoes in the room, convincing any person present of what role she has played. The audience feels the weight of her words, the combination of pride, anger, and hurt that has driven her to this point. Kody tries to defend himself, but the evidence presented is too much. I wunged. Every ledger, every receipt, every testimony points to one undeniable truth. Meri has carried a burden that few acknowledged, and the scale of her contributions now cannot be denied. Robyn's interjections are few and precise, aiming to make clear her own position, yet subtly reminding everyone of the fractures in the family's unity. Christine and Janelle listen to every word, their faces a mix of disbelief, frustration, and growing comprehension. The weight of truth is unstoppable, and with each revelation, it inches the Brown family closer to irreversible change. The judge reviews the documents again, underlines some discrepancies in the financial records, and asks pointed questions of both Kody and Robyn. The room holds its breath. This is the moment when control can shift, where alliances are tested, and finally, the true dynamics of the family come into the open. Each wife reacts differently, some with tension, others with subtle relief, and some masking a storm with a cool exterior. Now, Meri takes a deep breath, letting the evidence speak louder than words. She comes across calm and resolute, a stark juxtaposition to tension around her and the emotional distance grown between her and the rest of the family. Kody's efforts to regain footing falter with the clarity of her statements, while Robyn's poised facade hints at the strategy she has been carefully deploying. The same cannot be said for Christine and Janelle, who start to show in their expressions the true scale of the revelation. The crescendo of the session occurs when the last bit of evidence is pulled out, a detailed account of financial contributions versus perceived responsibilities, carefully charted to reflect Meri's steadfast support of the family. The courtroom erupts in quiet murmurs. Kody's face tightens, Robyn's eyes flicker with concern, though she remains in control. Christine and Janelle just sit in stunned silence, absorbing the undeniable proof. Every hidden truth revealed represents one step closer to justice, yet simultaneously one step closer to irreparable family breakage. The judge calls for a recess, allowing testimony to end and the family to take in the aftershocks. Whispers grow louder outside the courtroom, reporters speculate, onlookers gasp, and the family steps out into sunlight, forever changed. The fragile veil of unity that once held them together has been lifted. Meri's face is serene, but her eyes reflect a quiet triumph. Kody stands rigid, trying to repress the realization that control has been lost. Robyn remains composed, knowing the final result has yet to sink in. Christine and Janelle, the truth has been laid bare, and the Brown family will never return to the life they once knew. As the family heads their separate ways, Meri briefly turns to the camera. Her eyes are firm. She does not have to say a word because her eyes say it all. Finally, someone has recognized years of sacrifice, unrecognized contributions, and quiet struggles. The emotional storm has passed, but the effects will ripple through this family for years to come. And finally, a question for you. If you were in Meri's position, would you have waited this long for recognition or come forward earlier on and confront the family? Comment below. We want to know what you would have done.